Bloomberg's Paulina Cachera reported on this and joins me. And I also recommend anyone who read the story to look at the data viz. I put my own statistics in to see what the return is, and it's pretty ugly.
Yeah, I think it's like a really great tool, not only for high school students that are trying to make decisions about where to go to college, but also for graduates. I mean, I know I personally put in schools that I was deciding in between as a high school senior, and it's kind of fun to look at.
Now, what is the easiest way to think about the return on the investment numbers that are out there in the Bloomberg story, and how would you explain them?
Yeah, so what we did is we worked with the Georgetown Center on Workforce and Education, and they put together ROI calculations, which basically present it in a dollar amount. They essentially took a graduate's average earnings minus the average price it took for them to attend that college after aid packages. So all of the data is publicly available and includes information from people who took out financial aid to go to school. So I guess to run through some of the numbers pretty quickly, the average ROI for all colleges is about $98,000 10 years after they first enrolled. And so then we looked at more than 1,500 schools and grouped them into categories like Ivies, hidden colleges like you mentioned, public flagship schools, and other public and private schools, so that people could really get a sense of how these schools perform.
What surprised you most out of the findings after looking through so many universities, dozens really?
Yeah, I think the most surprising thing is, we know that every student wants to go to the most prestigious school that they can. But, for those students that don't get into an Ivy League school, and realistically most don't, these other elite private colleges, the ROI really starts to fall off. So the official 8 Ivies have an ROI about $265,000 10 years after enrollment. And elite private colleges have just an ROI of $135,000. So these public flagship schools, which are often a fraction of the cost, actually have an ROI that's higher at $148,000.
How do you think about this relative to the amount of debt students are taking on to go to these schools?
Yeah, I think that, one of the biggest things that ate away at the ROI of these elite private colleges was that really high sticker price. For students enrolling next year, the average cost of attendance is stretching past $90,000. Now, if you think about that, that means to earn a 4-year degree at an elite institution, a family is going to pay more than $250,000. So when you're thinking about how much debt it takes for you, for a student to attend that school and paying it off after, it really eats away, even though those students might have a higher income after graduation.